Hey, Mark, you're the only black and red truck in this race. It's amazing. Drivers ready. Marshall's on your toes. I'll call you by names. Nick Cooper. Ken Beaudet. Nick Peters. Dan Jones. Steve Key. And Mark Leer Jr. Mark Leer, the only one of us man enough to run 3 vehicles today. 3 classes for Mark Leer Jr. We are rolling here. First lap of stock short course. We'll check the times. Dan Jones, 17.1. Nick Peters, 17.5. Ken, 19.1. Nick, 20.1 first time around. Dan Jones, the 4th truck in that line coming off of the triple. Now 3rd. The white and the orange with the yellow trim going wide, looking for a way around. Good pass there by Jones to the inside here. Good pass across the line for Dan Jones. Going to be our leader early in the stock short course run. Then Nick Peters, Ken Beaudet, Mark Leer, Nick Cooper, Steve Key rounding out the 6 here. Heat number 2 underway. Heat number 3, the first heat of stock buggy should be warming up. Should be lining up. Excuse me. 17.1 hot lap off of Dan Jones.
Which battery goes in your car?
Should be the one on the charger. Did I charge a battery?
No.
You want to hit one real hard for me?
I'm doing that.
Go ahead.
There was 2 sitting there and they were at 8.0.
Yeah, just hit them.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
I was so worried about Steve's batteries. I'm the battery on the charger.
Yeah, I didn't remember to do mine. Thank you. Couple of bobbles there by myself in the pits and the drivers on the track. That puts Mark Leer on point. Nick Peters going to start to fight him for it. Ken Beaudet in that battle as well. Ken gets it wrong at the end of the triple. Ken in that orange and purple truck with the drip paint scheme coming off of the corner table. Dan Jones cannot find any track to work with out there. It's going to put Nick Peters back to the point. There goes Nick across the line, 17.7. Good lap off of Nick in that black and gold truck. Working around the keyhole up to the driver's stand, going to be our leader. Nick on a 16 and an 03. Dan Jones set hot lap of the race. Just can't get around the traffic in this one. 220 down, 240 to go. Lots of time left in this one. Nick Peters on point, 16.01. Mark Leer, 16 and a 10. Ken with a 16 and a 16. Dan Jones, 16 laps, and I have no idea what kind of time. Nick Cooper and Steve Key rounding out the runners here. 2:20 to go in this one. Your leader's still going to be Nick Peters. A good-looking, mostly black truck coming off of the triple, working the right-hand side. Leer and Beaudet starting to battle just a couple seconds apart by time. Then Dan Jones, Nick Cooper, Steve Key. Nick and Mark just did their hot laps of the race, both 17.5s. Peters, Leer, Beaudet, Jones, Cooper, Key with 1:45 to go in this one. 17-lap pace coming off of Nick now. Another good lap by Mark Leer, going to put him into the low 16s. Ken on a 16 and a 15. Dan Jones on a 15-lap run. Nick Cooper and Steve Key both on 14-lap runs. Good consistent laps off of Mark Leer. He's keeping the pressure on Nick Peters on the front end. 1:15 to go. Nick throws down his hot lap there, working around the keyhole. Up to the driver's stand. He'll be coming up on Steve Key in just a moment. He's on a 17 and a 13 pace. Mark Leer on a 16 and an 01, starting to flirt with that 17-lap run. We're inside the last minute. Good run here for Ken Beaudet. He's holding on to that 3rd spot. 16 and a 13 and improving. Dan Jones, hot lap of the race and a 15.05 pace to show for it. Rough run here for Dan. 35 seconds, Nick. That was your hot lap. Getting quicker every time around for Nick Peters. He's down to 17.4s now. Dan Jones, 16.9. Good anger lap there by Dan Jones. Dan working the right-hand side over the baby double. Off the corner table, the white with the orange and the yellow across the line. He's got hot lap of the race. Another good one there, 17.2. Gonna run out of time. Probably gonna get 16 laps. We got 5 seconds plus the extra time to go, guys. Let's finish strong. Keep going until I tell you you're done. Keep going until I tell you you're done. Keep going, Dan Jones. That was another 16.9 for Dan right there. Mark, keep going, Mark. Steve Key, you are done. Nick Cooper, you are done. Nick Peters is done. Ken's done, Dan's done. Just waiting on Mark. Here comes Mark with the red and black truck, going to finish us out. 17 laps for Mark in a 5:15, but Nick Peters going to win it 17 and a 10. Dan Jones 16 and a 13. Holds off Ken Beaudet 16 and a 15. Nick Cooper 15 and 11. Steve Key 14:01.